let's get some prize picks in today, man. Last night was a rough one with the YouTube picks and just in general on the Discord. So prize picks, we went down about 12.6 units, -2 on underdog. But of course, I'll always be transparent with this. This link is always in the description for the Discord units made since day one. Still doing pretty good from last week, up 47.1 units in the past 9 days. So we'll get on to a recap of the actual picks from the video. And I only gave 2 out. I believe it was this 2 right here. So Austin Reeves on the under 6 assist, he got 7. And then I went Desmond Bane under 39.5 PRA, also missed. So 0-2 on the YouTube picks last night. But tonight I have another 3 picks. So not a full slip, but I do have 3 picks that I'm liking and leaning towards. The first one is actually going to be on Scotty Barnes. And there's 2 possible avenues you could go with this, either on the under rebounds or the under assist. Both of them were flagged here on OddsJuice as a positive expected value pick. So under 5.5 assists is actually slightly better at -133 or 57% likelihood to hit. And then the under rebounds is at about -124, 55.5% likelihood to hit. So we'll take a look at Scotty Barnes under rebounds on props.cash first. He is set at 6.5 on just one sportsbook here, FanDuel, juice towards the over. We're getting him at 7.5, of course, and he still cleared his 68% at the time of the season. But you can see there is juice on every single sportsbook towards the under. So why are we taking the under if this has hit 68% of the time? Doesn't really matter what the game logs say. You really want to trust the odds in this case and just look into it a bit deeper, right? They are up against the Clippers, who is 4th in rebounds allowed, who has a very strong defense. They're also away, where the splits get slightly worse, but it's something to consider. And you also have to take a look at the spreads, which is set at -10. So this is a good blowout potential game here for the Clippers, meaning that Scotty Barnes will likely get less minutes. They're also on a back-to-back, another reason why Scotty Barnes might get less minutes. And just the recent form and the changes to the Toronto Raptors lineup. Look at the past 5 games. He has went under each time, and not even close, right? Now, as we all know, there has been a change to the roster's lineup. We have RJ Barrett in it now, and we also have Quickly. So if we take Scotty Barnes with these 2 players in the lineup, they've played 6 games together, and Scotty Barnes has only went over once in the past 6 games. And like I said, not even close in these games. Then he got 9 rebounds versus the Knicks, but again, they are against the Clippers, who are 4th in rebounds allowed. So that is why the under 7.5 looked terrible at the start of the season, but now things started to change. Teams are changing, right? We have to kind of adjust with the new lineups, and then you could see all the juice towards the under 7.5. In this case, I'm not going to do a minutes projection because there's only been 6 games with this new lineup. And if I do a minutes projection, you're going to see like he pretty much hits this every time because he has hit this like 70% of the season. Even if I drop it to something like this, okay, 71% of the time he has hit the over 7.5. But again, most of these games are without RJ Barrett and Quickly. If you throw them in, honestly, you're going to see it's going to be pretty much the same. Minutes projections are not going to really matter when you don't have a lot of data. You basically have only 6 games to go off of. So now why are we going on the assists? Similar concept with the lineup. He's cleared this 3 out of 6 times with this specific Quickly and RJ Barrett in the lineup. And then in general, I mean, it's not as good as his rebounds prop. He's only cleared this 51% of the time. And then you also have to consider defense of the Clippers, 11th in assists allowed. So in general, decent picks both on Scotty Barnes, under 5.5 assists and under 7.5 rebounds. But my pick for the video, if you guys are going to tell, is the under 7.5 rebounds. Moving on, I have a very interesting pick on Denny. We're going to go with him on the under 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. If we take a look at this on the other sportsbook, it's all over the place. This pick is looking very, very nice. The only thing against us is that they're up against the Pacers, very high-paced team, and Tyrese Haliburton is out, of course. So this could be a bit of a tighter game than it would be if Haliburton was in, but it's a 29 in points allowed. That kind of bothers us here. But then he's not really a big point scorer. I mean, he averages like 14 points a game, maybe 12 points a game, yeah. So it's not really too concerning on the points aspect. They're also 6th in assists allowed, where Denny normally averages around 3.9. Then other than the points, the rebounds is, of course, where he gets the most of his PRA, averages about 6. But Indiana's kind of flat on that rebounds. Very good against assists. So in general, I think the PRA is a nice spot for him. But look at this. Every sportsbook is kind of confused on this, where to put him. 2 have him at 25.5 with juice towards the under. And then MGM has him all the way at 24.5. So we're getting 1 to 2 points extra on this line. And if you could check, at 25.5, he's only cleared this 11 out of 36 times. We're getting him at 26.5, where he clears this an extra 3 times on the under. So 22% of the time he has cleared this line. It's looking very good on pretty much every aspect. The juice on this line on OddsJuice that we got him at is at -122 or 55% likeness that he goes under. You can see his assist prop is also good. I'm going to be taking that in a different entry too. So all in all, this is a great looking pick. Check the spread is at -7.5, even with Tyrese Haliburton out, because the Wizards are away and they're just bad. Let's be honest here, just a bad team. So it does make sense. And anyway you look at this, it doesn't look good, even if he's getting minutes. He averages 27.2 a game. Even if we bump this up to 28 and above, he still only hit this 27% of the time this season. So looking like a very nice pick on Denny, under 26.5 PRA. Doesn't look like there's any other injury news on the Washington Wizards. So I do think this is a very solid pick on his under 26.5 PRA. The last pick I was looking at was Keldon Johnson on his under 6.5 rebounds. Now this is versus Detroit, and it's actually expected to be a bit more of a tight game than normal here. We could check on Bet365 what the spread is looking at. San Antonio Spurs versus the Detroit Pistons, set at -3 favorites for the Spurs. They are playing away tonight. And in general, Keldon Johnson has cleared this 15 out of 33% of the time this season. Detroit defense is 11th in rebounds allowed, so it's looking like a solid spot for Keldon Johnson's under. You can see the juice on every sportsbook except PointsBet, but every other one has him juiced towards that under all the way up to -125. Again, I got this off OddsJuice where we flagged them at -132, so very, very solid pick. 57% likelihood to hit. I wouldn't be surprised if this gets bumped down to 6. I could see that happening very soon here. So just one last thing to consider for Keldon Johnson is, again, I did say it was a bit of a tight game, so we could expect quite a bit of minutes for Keldon Johnson, and I looked at 2 projections. One has him at 32 minutes, and another one has him at 31 minutes. So see how he fares around maybe 28 to 33-ish, and we could check him higher on props.cash. So 28 and above, he actually hits at 50% hit rate, but if we actually drop down the minutes, maybe he's not going to play like 38 minutes. If we drop him down to like 30, 34 here, he has a 47% hit rate. If we bump him up to 35, about 50% hit rate. So it's not looking that bad on the minutes projection. Even if he gets more than usual, you can see he averages about 32.4. So if he hovers around that 33 minutes, I think it's a nice safe spot for the under 6.5 rebounds. That is essentially my 3 picks for tonight, my 3 leans. So you guys always want to throw this into a 6 flex when you're playing on Prizepicks, 5 or 6 flex. Make sure you're not playing this in a 3 power. If you want to go play this exact slip on underdog, and they'll give you 6x payout. Anyways, good luck everyone.